Hi there, it's Tracy Daviero from Your VA Mentor. Thank you so much for being with me here today. I decided to take advantage of this beautiful weather and bring my laptop outside to do a few training videos for you for my YouTube channel. Do not forget to like and subscribe. I am going to talk to you today about something that gets brought up fairly often. Actually, just last week, somebody booked a consult with me to ask about this exact thing, and I think this is irony, because what they're asking about is a client consult checklist. So I thought that was kind of funny because they booked a consult with me to talk about consult checklists. So anyway, was that funny? I think it's funny. So doing a client consultation is sometimes a stressful thing, right? Sometimes it is unnerving, especially if you're new, because it's hard to talk about money. It's hard to talk about working with somebody. It's always difficult to ask for the sale. Not always, in the beginning it's always is difficult, but as you get used to things, it makes it a lot easier. So one of the things that comes up is what to ask people. And I have a really great blog post that is 5 great questions to ask in a client consultation. And I share it a lot with people because honestly, they just don't know what to ask. And so I think they get a little bit confused. They get on the phone with somebody, somebody says, and this has happened to me a million times, okay, that I've gotten on the phone with somebody who calls me, they want a VA, we've set up a call, we get on the phone and they say, okay, so how much do you charge? And because money is a really tricky thing to talk about with a lot of people, it's starting a conversation with that is really upsetting, right? So, but sometimes VAs, because we are introverts, because we're support professionals, we're not really used to the, rah, sales kind of thing. It's really about knowing what to do, and so that you're in charge of the sales consult or the client consult or the sales conversation, whatever you want to call it. I call it a sales conversation, but it is a consult. You need to be in charge of it. And so you need to be in charge of it for 2 reasons. First of all, it's because when you start to work with the client, you're going to need to be in charge of their work. You need to be able to take the information that they give you so that you can get their work done without their supervision, without their micromanaging you, right? But also you need to get the information that you need to know whether you can help this person, because you don't need to help everybody, even if they're on the phone with you. Even if you can do something doesn't mean you have to, right? But also you need to be able to have some idea of what to tell them in terms of your rate. So if you're not currently using a checklist on your sales conversations, first of all, I would say, why not? Because it's a whole lot easier as you're going through. And if you jump around on your conversation, it's okay, because if you get the information that you need on your list, then you just have to backtrack and say, okay, one thing I wanted to ask you that I didn't ask you. So having a checklist is a really good thing. And you don't get to miss anything, and you also get to build you get to build a rapport with them as you have conversation, because all you're going to really do is start asking them some questions. So information to include for sure, and this is a really big one, is their contact information. Now you can get that information from usually their website or something like that, but if you are going to go forward with something, you want to be able to make sure that you can get in touch with them. So have an email, have a phone number, have something like that. Make sure that you know how to get in touch with them. It's not just connected on LinkedIn. You want to be able to follow up with them if they don't sign up with you right away. What reason did they give for wanting the consult? Why are you even on the phone with them, right? That's a really big one too. What is it that, because if they tell you that, they need somebody right away, or they're doing some research, or they're exploring, maybe using a VA, or they need somebody to do something it's your area of specialty, or it's not your area of specialty. You need to find out what the reason is. Why are we on the phone right now? What's going on? And you want to know if they've worked with a VA before. And it's okay if they haven't worked with a VA, but then at least you know where you're at. You need to be able to have a conversation with them about how things work. If they have worked with a VA, then that's not always good too, because sometimes you need to then break habits that they've formed with another VA, or if they've had a bad experience, then you're kind of the measuring stick against the next relationship they have. So sometimes that can be challenging too. So if they've worked with someone, just ask them how it went, and if they've found any problems, or if there was anything that they really liked about working with somebody in particular. Always ask them where they got your name. Is it a referral? Is it where did they find you? Because when we are doing our marketing, Anything that's working for you, you want to do more of. If they found you in a Google search, well, then you know that that's a really good thing for you to do, and you want to focus on, keywords, SEO, and that kind of thing in your business. Because if you're coming up and they say, well, I just searched, in my case, I searched Ottawa, VA. Well, that's great, because then I know that that's working on my website, right? And if it's a referral, certainly you always want to know that too. On your client consult checklist, you're going to build things that are relevant to your particular business. But here's a few things that are sort of general that I think anybody can ask. And I'll just kind of run through these. So if you're taking notes, you better get ready. What are their biggest issues at the moment? What is the thing that they are really looking to get support around? Because sometimes what happens is some people have a big laundry list of things to do, and they can't afford the budget that it would take to get all those things done. So what are the most important things? Sometimes what you can do is you can start and get your foot in the door, and then build on that, build on things with the client. So always figure out what's the most pressing thing for them right now. Number 2, what does their big picture of support look like? What do they want? Are they going to want you to do a whole bunch of things? Are they looking to build, a team over time that you could either manage or be a part of? Whatever that looks like. It's not relevant, well, I shouldn't say relevant, but maybe it's not that important for you to know right now what your role would be on the team. But are they just looking for one-on-one support, or what do things look like? 3, you want to ask them what systems they're currently using. What are they using online? What are they using? How do they store things? How do they provide things to their own clients? How does all of that type of thing work? Again, this helps you to form the knowledge that you need to let them know whether you can help them or not. Number 4, big one, what is their budget? Always, always, always ask somebody what their budget is, because when you just let them ask you what your hourly rate is, and then you quote the hourly rate, they are frantically doing math in their head because they think that something takes them 10 hours to do right now. They have to pay 10 hours of support, when in fact, sometimes it's only 2 or 3 hours of support for their 10, because they really don't do whatever it is well, whether that's social media, whether it's bookkeeping, whether it's any of the things that they need to get help with. So budget, really important. Ask them what their budget is. If somebody says $500 a month, you know that you can come in with some kind of a package for $500 a month, or some kind of a proposal for $500 a month to get a series of tasks done for them without freaking everybody out. If that's what they can pay, try to fit yourself into it. What is the start date they would like? Number 5. What are they looking at? What's their timeline on things? You want to make sure that maybe they're hiring 3 months down the road, so you want to know that right off the bat. How much time or how many tasks are they anticipating? That goes along with the budget. That goes along with the biggest issue question. But again, it's a really direct question. How much, what are you looking at? What kinds of things do you need help with on a regular basis, on a weekly basis, on a daily basis? How does that look? And number 7, is it an ongoing contract or a single task? Usually in the conversation you can get the answer to that question, but that's a really important thing, and it might be interesting for you to include on your checklist so that you can see whether your consults are coming mostly for project work or for ongoing work. Because sometimes you don't get the client, right? So when you know what your consults are coming in at, you can see what people are finding you for. And then you just add in questions that are specific to you and your service offerings. Website details, bookkeeping info, networking events that they attend, or that type of thing. There's lots of different things that you can add that are specific to your business. But I think that core is really important, and it helps you to really guide the conversation. It helps you to be in charge of the conversation, and it helps you to ask the right questions while you're on the call. The client will get a really good sense of you taking a lot of pressure off of them whenever you're prepared with a checklist like this, and you can have a conversation, say, great, I have a couple more questions for you because I really want to know that if I'm the right person to support your business. So being prepared before a consult is going to help you make sure you don't miss anything. It's going to make sure that you keep the conversation flowing, and really it's going to make you come off as much more professional, because it's a professional thing to do, isn't it? So, and you can always leave yourself a notes section as well. I often scroll at the bottom of the page, but if you want to make things look nice, put a notes section in there for anything that comes up otherwise. If they have hobbies or interests that maybe is something that also interesting to you, you can note that as well. So I'd love to hear more about your client consult checklist. If you have one, you can comment below. And because this is on my YouTube channel, I would ask you to like and subscribe. Thanks so much, Tracy from Your VA Mentor. I hope you have a great day. See you next time.